This program is brought to you by Newsworks in cooperation with the City of Eau Claire. This program is simulcast on WRFP-LP 101.9 FM.
Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. The first order of business is the minutes from the meeting of June 19, 2019. It was in your packet. I know everybody's looked at it. Are there any additions or correction anybody would like to bring up at this time? Okay, can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Seconded.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same side. Minutes are approved. Financial statements. Hello,
Okay.
Catherine.
We have the draft summary lists some of the major expense reported. Operating expenditures total $16,889 as of June 30th. Expenditures include $708 for personal costs associated with upkeep of the RDA-owned properties, $7,661 for contractors to repair and maintain the same properties, $1,543 for utilities, and $6,977 for a relocation payment as part of the moving projects or moving folks out of the Cannery District. Total capital expenditures in June totaled $14,125 associated with the relocations.
Questions? Anyone? The rest of the redevelopment year-to-date budget is there. Any questions or concerns? If not, I'll ask for a motion to approve the financial statements as presented.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same side. Financial statements are approved. Let's go to number 4, update and discussion regarding Block 7 RFP and liner site RFP. Aaron?
Okay, so both RFPs went out. They've been in the hands of developers for about 2 weeks now. We gave them 6 weeks to complete it, so we'll be expecting responses back in early August. We're getting a ton of interest on these two projects from both local and outside the area developers. Wide variety of projects I expect to see rolling in. We've had indications there'll be several groups that will be applying. We did want to bring up one topic. We were approached in a separate meeting with the Eau Claire Children's Museum and met with their director and a couple of board members, and they are very keen on the Block 7 location. As you know, they were working with Pablo Properties to try and secure that site for, or partnering with Pablo to secure that site for their activities or their expansion. They are requesting the RDA, and we agreed that we put it on the agenda for today, that they'd be allowed to directly submit for a portion of the Block 7 property, 0.55 acres, to negotiate directly with the RDA for purchase. So wanted to get guidance from the board on that particular issue.
Comments? Please.
Just a process question. So I think that has a lot of merit and it makes absolute sense. If another
Excuse me, could you turn your mic on so everyone could hear? Thank you. He yells at me back there, Catherine. It's not me. I get yelled at.
Do I need to turn it on or do you push it?
Is she okay? No, turn it on. Hit the little button. Is it on now? Try that again. No, he's still saying no.
Try pressing the button on the unit, the mic.
It's on, it's flashing.
And you still can't hear her.
You need to select it there.
How's that? Okay.
Yep, we're on.
Now we
Okay,
got it.
great.
Very good.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody. I think it makes a lot of sense to have that type of request accommodated. I guess from a process standpoint, if any other applicant wanted to have just a portion, would we allow that?
We had some intro staff discussion on this. Our recommendation to them, and this would be our recommendation, is that they go ahead and submit a standalone against the RFP for a standalone portion of the Block 7 site, just like any other project would. That keeps within the guidelines that were set. There's nothing that precludes them from submitting to do their own standalone project within the Block 7 space and be considered as any other project does. The challenge, and I would also add that we were going to send out an addendum to the RFP that will reference that in past proposals for the Block 7, the Children's Museum was considered as a portion of that, and it was a desirable criteria in previous projects that it be included within that site, but not a requirement. The reason we would recommend going that route is you have developers who already 2 weeks into design to submit a proposal into that site, and to remove half an acre now would potentially derail the work that's already been done. There are parties, there are developers that have already indicated they will be reaching out to or have reached out to the Children's Museum and will be working with them to try and incorporate what they want to do within these other developers' process. So there are going to be some proposals that will see the Children's Museum included in that as well. But they did ask, so we agreed we go ahead and put this topic of discussion in front of the board.
Tom?
Thank you. So 2 points. First, what you're just saying, Aaron, agreed, if we're going to do that, then certainly we should wait until.
No, let's see. Gonna push the button.
Press.
Tell you as soon as we're back in City Hall, the happier I am. I push it, it flashes.
How about just use your neighbor's microphone? Oh, there you go.
Now you're lit.
We'll see.
Could be.
Okay, two things. So we would certainly, have to have the entire proposal time, right, in either case. But a couple money sort of questions, right? This Children's Museum is nonprofit, correct?
Correct.
So therefore, I'm not sure who this question is for. Maybe Jay or Dale can answer the question, but so any valuation created by that structure wouldn't then contribute to the total valuation of the TIF district. Is that correct?
Most likely not, if I could.
Please.
It's an annual determination by the city
Yeah.
assessor, but, so, tax exempt for federal income tax purposes doesn't, correlate 1-to-1 for tax exempt from.
Hang on for a second, you're not.
Oh, I'm not on either?
Now you're on, now you're on.
They say that they're.
Yeah.
We don't want to miss a word.
That was really good.
It's, it's fun in a house of teenagers, it's pretty cool to be lit, right? Different meaning. All right. So, they're a tax exempt organization, and property that they own and operate as a children's museum is likely going to be tax exempt, correct?
So then, if my recollection is correct, we would still be somewhat under the targeted increment for that entire TIF, if there was no additional development on that block. Is that correct?
You mean if the Children's Museum was the only development?
Correct.
in that, then yes,
Correct.
that'd be
Yeah. So it would be necessary then, if that development were to occur, to have additional development there, or, yeah.
Yes.
And the question for us will be, if we take 0.55 acres out, what does it do to the other developers? Can it meet the valuations? So it does make it a little more dicey for us. They are a great member of the community. I don't think I think the board would like to take a look at what they've got, as well as the other folks that are going to the RFP, and let's see what can be done. So unless anybody has some problems, why don't we just, next meeting they'd be able to bring us something? Or the other RFPs too?
Right, yeah, the RFPs will be in prior to the August meeting, so we'll be able to
Okay.
present all proposals or the ranked proposals at that point in time to the board to review.
Catherine?
Thank you so much. I don't have any objections to that. I would just like to say, I would hope that anybody who's looking to develop in this area would not be surprised by this addendum. I think if you're going to be in this very special and unique place in our city, one ought to do their utmost homework and understand that this should be a dynamic here.
Yeah, great.
Absolutely, and
Agreed.
I would add that there are 3 developers have already indicated they're reaching out, in the process of reaching out to Children's Museum to incorporate them into their proposal. I've been informed of that by 3 different developers who will be building, or will be submitting for the proposal.
Okay, any other comments on that? Let's move to item 5, update on Vanderwall and Associates review of the Cannery District redevelopment plan. Aaron?
We had our group meeting and the site visit from Vanderwall on the 27th. Had really good attendance of the stakeholder group that we had. We held it down at the Brewing Project. Will Glass was generous enough to let us use a corner of his space to have folks come in and out, provide feedback to them. The consultants walked the entire district, looked at all the different properties, looked at the areas, looked at the surrounding neighborhoods, had a lot of interesting observations from them already, and we should start seeing some initial material coming from them shortly. I would actually invite the members who were able to attend the meeting to kind of give your perspective, what you took away and what you saw and what you discussed when they were here.
Tom, you want to go first?
Well, I wasn't there for the entire meeting. I think I was probably there for almost all of it. I'm just going to speak loudly. I don't know. It's very frustrating. It's now flashing yellow again, like it was before.
You can just use your neighbor's microphone.
Okay. Okay, it was I think a good meeting. There were several local business owners there, as well as some members of some various interest groups that have a stake in the project. The folks from Vanderwall, is that correct?
Correct.
Appeared to be active listeners for everybody involved. I'm not sure what they took away from that. I would have loved to see, or maybe we will see, some kind of bullet-pointed list of what their takeaways were. So it's difficult for me to know what sort of sunk in and what didn't sink, because they were getting things thrown at them from all directions, right? So if it was me, I would have been, and they were taking notes, right? But if it were me, it would have been really hard to take all those things and put them into a cohesive sort of picture. So I'd be kind of curious to see what picture they came up with. Maybe we'll see that next week. So it was nice of them to do that, to take the time to do that. And of course, it was great for all the folks that were able to participate.
Okay. Now, I wasn't there, so I don't know who were the other two members that attended. Catherine? Go ahead. You could make some comments.
Yeah, thank you so much. I would agree with everything that Dr. Kemp shared. And I observed that even with the variety of feedback that they received, I would say all of the members had done some amount of homework. They complemented each other. So if somebody was talking about bicycle amenities or business amenities or projects, somebody had already studied up on that. And so it seemed like they were just ready to receive that feedback regardless of that topic. I think from what I heard, and I was only there for a limited amount of time, from what I heard, I think there was an interest to perhaps look at the footprint of the existing park. I think it's Kessler Park there, and to just be open to potentially moving that same size of footprint, but perhaps somewhere else in the area, and to look at clustering a little bit more business traffic right on, I guess it would be 3rd Street. The gentleman that owns the, I think, is it called the Garage?
Right.
He indicated that it would be advantageous to have more clustering of business there as well. So I think just keeping the options on the table and exploring at this point.
Good. So who else was there? Wayne?
I was there briefly. At the end, I think the points that I saw were similar to my compatriots on the board here. But I think to what Tom had said, if we saw kind of a list of things, their takeaways early on in the process, we might have a better sense if we felt that their takeaways were aligned and their project was heading in the right, or their views were headed in the right direction. So that would be my only feedback.
We'll get something by next meeting.
Yeah, and actually, I'm hoping to maybe have something I can disseminate out to the board prior to the next meeting as well. We were hoping we might have some preliminary data from them in time for this meeting, but they did not get it in place. So we'll start sending some of that out to the full board as soon as it's available, and we'll definitely be doing a more in-depth discussion of what some of the preliminary thoughts are in the August meeting.
Okay. All right, any other comments? Let's go to number 6 is the update on status of Cannery Trail residence purchase and development agreement approval.
We just want to be able to provide an assessment where it is, as the board had to approve the project pending approval through the various city council processes. So at this point, I'd turn it over to Stephen there.
I think you're lit.
He'll be the judge of that.
The event is lit. I don't want to comment on my status of litness. The agreement is hopefully going to be signed today. So I was just checking my email. I got one yesterday from Mr. Warner indicating that they were doing a final review, which he had confirmed. I think Friday was the prior time I had talked to him, and said he was meeting with some of their last investors to review it. So the communication I had with him yesterday is that, you know, there may be some final tweaks, but everything was looking good. So we've gone through a number of iterations of it since you all approved it, but all in a productive way. But it wasn't quite ready to be signed, so that's why it wasn't on the last council meeting as we had hoped. But it'll be on the next meeting, or that's what we anticipate, as long as I get it signed today. And that'll coordinate with street vacations of, you know, some portions of Cameron and alleys that are affiliated with that project, which also will be on council's next agenda. Okay. So looks like it's moving forward, but you know, not signed, sealed, and delivered quite yet. Hopefully by the next council meeting.
Any comments, folks? Nothing? All right. Item number 7, Executive Director's Report. Aaron again?
Absolutely, thank you. And just a moment, I'm going to grab some documents. Ms. Basim is handing out the annual audit report for the RDA. It's a really straightforward, simple document. I couldn't find how this was typically presented to the board, so I thought we were just going to present this meeting. We originally presented during the financials, but I thought we'd just address it at this point in time now. There were no findings within the audit report. Everything came out okay. Processes are okay. So you have the document in front of you. I encourage you to take a look at it. If you have any questions, let me know, and then we can always bring it back onto the agenda for August if there's anything else that you'd like to discuss or have questions about. But everything came back fine, so like I said, it's a fairly small, focused organization, so it's not a lot to have to analyze.
Okay. Take your time to study. If there's any issues, we'll bring them up at the next scheduled meeting, but thanks very much. All right, final item, announcements and correspondence. The announcement, of course, is the next meeting is August 21st. Any fan mail?
No mail of any type, and I would add one other comment. The interest is still continuing in the Cannery district. We've had a couple of the developers come in and approach. We're now seeing 2 interested parties in the property north of Kessler Park. The Pocket Neighborhood Group that presented about a year ago, they've come back to their concept. We expected to have some additional follow-on material for this agenda item for today, but they didn't present anything to us. Yesterday I met with a local builder who is interested in doing the same type of affordable housing within the same property. So the interest is definitely peaking in that area, and also looking at a different type of housing that we haven't seen before. So we hope to have maybe some proposals for the board to review soon on some property within the Cannery district. And I think that will probably open up a segue. Next month's meeting, I'd like to kind of have a little bit more in-depth discussion on housing. what roles RDA sees themselves playing within affordable housing or housing within the development districts that we have, and to kind of look at what strategies or roles we want to take in those areas beyond sending out RFPs, et cetera. So it'd be something for the board to think about for discussion for next month's meeting.
Okay. Dale?
Aaron, perhaps I missed it, but is Sarah introduced?
Oh, I apologize, absolutely. This is Sarah Larson. She is our new staff person member. She is our business and communication specialist. She is filling the role that was filled formerly by Ray French. Her position is actually adapting. She has a tremendous background in marketing, digital marketing, graphic design, so we're going to be taking a lot of advantage of her skills and upping our game in terms of marketing material and promotion material we can put out through the economic development side of the division and through DECI. So we're really excited to have her on board.
Good. Very good. Thanks for bringing that up, Dale. Appreciate it. Anything else? If not, I think we've made Connie's time frame. The entire board worked tirelessly to make sure you got out of here on time. So nothing else. We'll stand adjourned. See everybody in August.
Thank you.
This program was brought to you by a cooperation between Newsworks and the City of Eau Claire. A transcript of this meeting is available for the hearing impaired. It will be available within 7 days of this telecast. Call 715-839-4912 or TDD 715-839-1689. Or write Eau Claire City Clerk, P.O. Box 5148, Eau Claire, Wisconsin 54702-5148. Newsworks is made possible by continuing community support. If you would like to volunteer or make a donation, please contact us via phone at 715